On Flashback tonight, how quick thinking by some Adelaide medicos saved the life of one of the world's fastest men. When Finnish driver Mika Hakkinen came to grief at our final Grand Prix, things could have ended very differently.
The first qualifying session for Sunday's Grand Prix had just started when Hakkinen lost control of his McLaren.
It was a dreadful start to Adelaide's last Formula One circus in 1995.
Mika hit the wall pretty hard and basically stopped breathing.
His car launched into the air, eventually crashing into a tyre barrier at Brewery Corner.
Also, I heard the squealing of the tyres, and then I just saw Mika come sideways up over the island.
The medical unit straight onto the scene.
Intensive care specialist Jerome Cockings and neurologist Steve Lewis were on the spot within seconds.
And they couldn't get a breathing tube into his mouth because his teeth were clenched and they couldn't get the drugs in. Dr. Bill Griggs was at the track that day as the director of the Royal Adelaide's newly formed trauma service. So they went for an incision in the throat to put a tube into the throat.
For 15 minutes, doctors stabilised him, inserting an emergency airway before he was taken to the Royal Adelaide Hospital. That
ability to get the oxygen in early on can make all the difference in the world, and that's what they did.
Pictures from inside Hakkinen's McLaren show the full impact of the 200km/h shunt.
They had to open up his neck and to get his breathing back.
He arrived at the Royal Adelaide in pretty bad shape.
He was placed on a ventilator machine and his condition listed as serious.
We were very concerned about his head trauma. He had some fractures there, he had some bleeding around the brain.
Hakkinen will be kept under constant observation here at the Royal Adelaide Hospital. While back at the track, drivers were deeply shocked by the incident.
Questions were raised about the design of the track.
Damon Hill, Gerhard Berger and Michael Schumacher were obviously concerned about the safety of the Adelaide circuit, but the Grand Prix office is adamant that the track was not to blame.
The cause of the accident was a freak. He got a puncture, it rapidly deflated his rear tyre, he lost control, he became airborne. It was just unfortunate, but it was a freak accident.
After weeks at the Royal Adelaide, not only did Hakkinen make a complete recovery, but within 3 years was crowned world champion.
And you are looking at the world champion of 1998.
Not before returning here first.
There's been an emotional reunion in Adelaide for Formula One ace Mika Hakkinen and the hospital staff who saved his life 2 years ago. Hakkinen returned to open the Royal Adelaide Hospital's new rooftop helipad.
For the likeable Mika Hakkinen, it was a humbling and highly emotional experience.
I think it was actually a difficult time for him.
It means to me a lot, and not particularly today, because I will meet some people who helped me enormously.
And among them, two specialist doctors, Fred Gilligan and Bill Griggs.
Coming back and seeing the corner where it happened and getting up close and personal to the hospital, I think that he struggled a little bit more with that than perhaps he thought he would have.
Hakkinen says he owes his life to the RAH.
It was a team effort. There were a whole bunch of people involved. It's never just one person, and that's true for all the patients.
What a fabulous flashback that was.
Amazing. Wins in 98 and 99. He goes on to inspire Valtteri Bottas, who also spends time in Adelaide. That's remarkable.